Alright everybody, welcome back to West Corners Custom Cycles and to the Underground Garage. You know me, I'm Pat. Today I'm literally unveiling our next build. I kind of get the idea that everybody out there isn't too psyched about these little two-stroke bikes that I do. The last 4 videos I put up, I don't think one of them's hit 100. The ones on the Ligero. So I would have preferred people just commented and told me that. It would have been easier, but I figured it out, and that's cool. So we're going to go with this. This is a 1991 Sportster that I bought from a friend of mine, and I'm going to post a picture here showing what the bike looked like. I'll put it up right now. So that's what the bike looked like when I got it. I tore it all down. I did a bunch of stuff to it. I had mentioned during the 1975 Sportster build that I was going to be doing this build next. This is the bike that I was building for my wife when she won the Sportster that she has now in a raffle. So without further ado, let me get this thing uncovered. But sitting here on this lift I looked at the inspection sticker. It was 2014 when I put it on this lift, so it's been here for quite a while. Time to get this thing done and back on the road. So this is what it looks like. It's going to be an old school kind of bagger looking thing. Making it look almost like an old cop bike. When I got it from my buddy, it already had the, it's got a 41 millimeter wide glide front end on it. He had put that on it. He also put a rear tire from a Sportster on it. He took the sprocket off, moved it up to the front so it had a fat tire on the front of it. I took and put the soft tail fender on it. It might even be off a Fat Boy. I got all the trim that goes on it. I'll take you around and show you that too. I wound up putting this engine guard on it. My buddy had already put this S&S and hypercharger on it. He's also the one that put these footboards on it. And this brake pedal. This brake pedal I might be changing out. My wife wanted it purple and white with pearl on the paint. So as you can see, I did the exhaust pipe, wrapped them in purple, put the original mufflers on them. When I originally got this bike from my buddy, you can go back and look at the picture. It had a custom exhaust on it, high performance exhaust that he had put on it. He put the Mustang seat on it, solo seat. I actually got the Bates bags from him previous to getting the bike from him. I put the Bates bags on it. Put this, here, let me make sure you guys can see what's going on back there. I'm not sure where I'm at. Yeah, okay. These Bates bags, Mustang seat. I put this old rack on it. I'll bring you around the back in a minute. It's got an FLH rear fender on it. It comes way down in the back. So I was just kind of getting an old school look to it. My buddy put on the big Beachcomber handlebars. I put on the 19-inch windshield, triple light bar on the front of it. Right here. I put an accessory bag on the inside of the windshield. I'm going to get this camera and walk around on it so you can see things a little better. Okay, this is the light bar. I put this back here. Put this windshield on it. The accessory bag on the inside of the windshield there. So that's what she's looking like. Now we got to get all the trim back on the front fender here and mock that up. These 3 holes right here, the top ones, were where the emblem that used to go on the fender would go if it said Ultra Classic or you soft tail, whatever it said. I have some that say special edition, because obviously this is going to be a special edition Sportster. There's not going to be another one out there like it. Right over here, see if I can, in that cardboard box is a brand new stretch tank. The white box on top of it is the gas cap kit that goes with it. I'm going to take you around the back of the bike here. This is the rack I put on it, the Mustang seat, the FLH rear fender, light bar. There's also brake lights in the back of the Bates bags. I got new locks right here to replace these because I didn't have the keys for those ones. Now I got to get, there's the rear tire for this back on it. But the one thing I got to take care of here, I don't know how long I'm going to be able to see it, is the bottom of this fender right here isn't attached to anything. I got to get that attached, get this tire back on, get it off the jack, and make sure everything, oh, I almost tripped. Make sure everything is all mocked up good for that rear tire. It's not rubbing, touching anything, and that fender isn't flapping around. Then we're going to come up here and work on the gas tank, getting that all buttoned up and on there. Then we're going to come up to the front end and finish this all out. Like I said, we got light here for the front of the fender. I have a red one for the rear of the fender. These right here are the chrome trim that goes down the side of the fender right here. So, and this goes along the back lower part of the fender back here. So these are all things we got to finish out. Then it's all got to be pulled apart, sent out for paint. All right, everybody, just wanted to take you around the new build. I'll be back here in a minute and we'll get working on this rear fender. All right, catch you in a few. All right, everybody, I'm back. I was going to get working on this rear tire and getting that mounted up, but like I showed you, I can't really do that until I get the front of this fender mounted up. And the way I figure I'm going to do that is with a P-clip. Goes around the frame. That's what a P-clip is. You can see I used one here as a support for the hard bag that I put on. The only problem is I don't have the sizes I need, so I'm going to have to order them off the internet. Now, I'm going to have to wait on those to get here. I went to a couple of stores locally. Nobody had the size I needed. So in the meantime, what we're going to do is we're going to button up everything else on the back of this bike. This rack right here is not bolted down. It does have bolts going through it and the fender, but there's no washers or nuts on the other side. Got to get that taken care of. Down here where these three holes are, I don't know if you can see them that well. That's where the license plate bracket goes. Then down here is where the tail light assembly goes. And then down on the bottom here, there's going to be a marker light right here on the inside of this bumper. That's the light right there, actually. And then I got to get the wiring all taken care of for all of this, plus the blinkers here. And I think I'm going to make these. I got to look at the bulb in them, see if they're single or dual filament. If they're dual, then great. It'll be a marker and a brake light. If not, I think I'll just make it a brake light. So I'll have 3 brake lights going across the back, so people are really going to know when I stop. So anyway, that's where we're at. That's what we're going to get doing. Let me mount this phone up, and you guys can watch what we get going here. Okay, first thing we're going to take care of is this rack. And the one thing I wanted to show you is right here, the corner of this little bend right here is hitting the fender here. But I have a gap of about maybe a 1/16 to 1/8 of an inch out on the end. So I want to washer this up a little bit like that, so the corner here on both sides isn't hitting the fender. Up front it's not touching, it's resting on the flats. So I got some rubber washers and a couple steel washers I'm going to put under this. Raise it up a little bit. The rubber will be sandwiching the steel washer just to give it some space, and then that way once I get this painted, the rubber will kind of protect the paint. So that's where we're at. I got these rubber washers here. I also got some bigger ones. I went and got at the hardware store yesterday. So I have two different size ones. Hoping you can see all that. Where are we? Nope. Alright, sorry about that. I had to back out a little bit so you can see what I was talking about. Everything zoomed in too much. These are the big ones. These are the little ones. So we're going to put them on there. See if we can't raise this up a little bit and keep anything from rattling. I'll take these bolts out. Just pour holding it on. And they're just 5/16 inch long bolts. I'm going to put lock nuts on the back side of them. Now my plan here, take a big one, put a washer in the middle, another rubber washer over the top, put it under there, and bolt down through it. I may even have to, since I put that under there, get a little bit longer bolt, but that's okay, I have them. That looks, how much is sticking through, I can get it. Yeah, I might be able to get a lock nut on there. We'll see here in a minute. Trying to stay out of your way here and see what's going on. Excuse me. Now, do the same up front. Give me 1 second. I'm going to see if I got 4 longer bolts that are just about a 1/4 inch longer to be on the safe side. Be right back. All right, I'm back. As you can see, the bolts, I do have 4 longer ones in case I need it, but I'm going to try and get away with the shorter ones because I want as little as possible sticking down through that fender, pointing towards that tire. Let's see how this works with putting a nut on it. I think once I tighten it down, I'll have to look from underneath and see if the threads are into the plastic on these lock nuts. And this one's got a big old burr from where I drilled the hole. Okay. They have nuts on them. They're not tightened down until I get the front ones done. Two more of these sandwiches with the big and little rubber washers, and put them under the front ones in the steel washer. Couldn't find a bolt for a second there. Okay. That doesn't want to stay in there. Extra set of hands. Okay, we're getting there, folks. like that, huh? All right, everybody, I'm back. Thing was kicking my backside. Anyway, I got all the bolts in now. Wound up having to go around and I drilled these bolt holes through the fender at just a little over 5/16 because they're 5/16 bolts. I wound up having to go around and aug them all out to 3/8. Give me a little more, you know, wiggle room in there. Got them all down in there. I'm going to put the nuts on them now. I'm just going to finger tighten everything down. That way, when I go to take it back apart, I just want to make sure everything fits the way it's supposed to. All the bolts go in where they're supposed to. Okay, those are finger tightened down. So that's good there. I got nuts, bolts, and I don't know how well you can see. I'm going to zoom in a little bit and see if we can't pick it up for you. Hang on. You can see here, now there's a gap where it's not hitting the fender. I got rubber on the fender, a metal washer in between, and a smaller rubber washer underneath the rack itself. So that should do it. Giving it nice good clearance front and rear. It's going to have a little rubber mount to it. I'm happy with that. So, okay. Now we're going to move on to this mount here for the license plate light. This is the license plate light. Here, let me back out again a little bit. Alright, this is the license plate bracket. What it looks like on the back. Actually got a little taper to it. So I've got the hardware here, just 1/4 bolts. Now there was 2 rubber backings I could choose from that I had. There was this one that has taper just like the back of the license plate bracket, or this flat one. And I kind of looked at both. The tapered one stood it up more like that. I like the way it lays flat down on there better. So I'm going to go with the flat one. I'm going to take this. You can see it's got 3 holes. They both have 3 holes. You lay the one over it, just gives it a rubber bushing between the bracket and the fender. And I have 3 1/4 bolts. That I'm just gonna take and run through the bracket, through the rubber on the backside, and do that with all 3. Just like, kind of a glare, just like that on the backside. Holes are already pre-drilled and ready to go. That's going to go on like that. I got 3 flat washers to go on the backside, and 3/4 lock nuts. The one I just dropped. Okay. Put a washer and a nut on the back of each of them. Get in there without getting in your way. Yeah, it's going to be difficult. See how far of a reach I got here. With it. It's not going to let me get there and not get in your way. Oh. There's one. Okay, that's that, and that's what that's going to look like. Now we'll move down to this tail light assembly here. See if I can't zoom in a little for you, or move a little closer. There. Now, tail light assembly is pretty straightforward, kind of like the license plate, and I don't know why the bracket was giving me, the rack up top was giving me a hard time, but once I hogged those holes out, it was okay. Going to take the wiring from the tail light assembly. I'm going to feed it down through. Obviously, you got to have power going to your tail light. Now, tail light has 2 studs on it. Going to 2 holes on either side here. Pretty self-explanatory. But the thing with these are, these don't have any threads on them. They take these tin, I don't even know what they call them, kind of push bolts on them. But these are 1/4 inch ones. Once you get it in there, lined up, with the turn signal wires in the way. There we go. Now, that's how that should go. Oh, look, I think there might be a rubber mount that goes behind on that, just like it did on the license plate. So that's how that's going to go on there. Put the 2 nuts on the back. Like I said, I'm just going to run these down and finger tighten things up for the time being. It's all going to have to come back off of there to go for paint. So, that's where that's going to go. Now, like I said, I'll bring it back out a little more. If these have dual filaments, I'll have a running red light here, on the bottom down here, and on the other bag. Plus, when I hit the brakes, all 3 of these red lights will light up. The one down on the bottom here won't do a brake light. That's just a single filament. Just got a little 194 bulb in there. And speaking of, that's our next deal. We're going to take this, and I'm going to clip this end off of here. It's got an end on the wire, but it's not going to fit through the hole it's got to go through. And if I'm not mistaken, I got to open up them holes a little bit. 1/4 20 bolt. Yeah, 1/4 20 doesn't want to go through there. So I'm going to have to open that up a little bit. And I'll be right back. I'm going to drill those holes out, and we'll come back to mounting the tail light. You guys can figure out how to drill a hole out better. You don't need me to show you that. Okay, be back in a minute. Okay, everybody, I'm back. I hogged these 2 holes out a little bit, so it'll fit a 1/4 20 really nice. Now, I found these bolts. I got a bolt bin full of stuff. But if you can take a good look at these, they got like a hex, like a star, almost a knurled end on it, and a flat head. So what I did is I hogged the hole out in these a little bit. You can see I got this one in. This one here is empty, but I hogged it out so that that little knurl fits in there just perfect. I actually got to push it in to get it to go in there all the way and stay. There, now it's all the way in. So now I can just slip these 2 through the back of the fender, put a washer and a lock nut on there, and it should be good. Let me snip this wire so that can go where it's got to go. Okay, I snipped the wire, but when I was over by my toolbox, I saw something I want to show you guys. Hopefully it'll show up. Hang on a second. There's just a crazy sunset going on out there today. And this is November 19th. This is today. It's not a week or two from when you're watching this. All right, back to the build. Okay, let's get this light on there. There's 3 holes back here in a little triangle. The bottom one, just like you see it. 2 top ones are for the stud, the bottom one's for the wire. I'm just going to slip that in there. I'm going to have to push those bolts back out a little to get it in there. Okay. Get everything where it's got to go. There it goes. Push those back down in and da-da-da. That's where that goes. Now that I got those in where they need to be, this red light lens snaps on there just like that. All right. Well, that's what she's looking like. Now, like I said, I got to get the wire for this, both the blinkers, and these outer lights all wired up. I got to get the front of the fender, mounted up so it's not flapping around and rattling. And then I should be able to get this tire in here, get it down off the jack, and make sure I've got clearance, all the way around the tire, because I don't want any of these things that I just put on rubbing on the tire. I don't think it will. Should be enough clearance in there. Okay, that's it for today, boys and girls. I wanted to let everybody know that if you were watching the Ligero, the 65cc Ligero build that I was doing, I haven't really gotten a lot of views on it, so there, but there was people watching it. I'm still waiting on parts for that. It's been 2 weeks. I just called the guy, kind of put a fire under his fanny that I really need them. I want to get this done. So hopefully they'll be coming soon. And I will get the P-clips ordered for the front of this fender. Hopefully they'll be here in a day or two. In the meantime, I'll get working on this wiring. We can do some video on that. When the P-clamps get here, I'll finish up that video with mounting the front of that fender and getting the tire on. That should button up the rear of the bike. Then we'll move up to the gas tank. We'll get all that taken care of. And after that, we're going to move up front and get the fender, all the trim, the lights, and everything for that. I got a couple of really cool things that I want to do in this front fender. Wait till you see. I think you're going to find it pretty cool, too. All right, as always, please like, subscribe, comment. Let us know what you think about what I'm doing and if you like it or not. And as always, be good to each other. Live life behind bars. All right, I'll see you later.